Hi everyone, welcome back to our final segment here on Campus View Special Edition, and now it's the tips and tricks of campus life. Let's welcome our new slate of guests. Why don't each of you introduce yourself, starting from the back?
Yeah, I'm Evan Petruskevish. I'm a third-year chemical engineering major, and I'm also minoring in theater.
And what about you in the middle?
Yeah, so I'm Rachel. I am a second-year food science major with a minor in German.
And you?
I'm Jake Alalouf. I'm a second-year data analytics major from Maryland.
So there's a lot of things to talk about on campus life, specifically what everyone likes to do and has to do in order to live, eating. And how about you, Evan? What is your favorite campus eats here on campus? Let's start in the in-campus area.
Oh, that is a rough choice. I personally love Mirror Lake Eatery. It is a classic. I lived in Morrill Tower my first year, and that was the closest restaurant I had available. So there were many nights where I was just like, all right, I'm tired. I want to go get some chicken, and Mirror Lake was there for me.
And Rachel, was Mirror Lake a top of your choice, or is there something else that is usually your go-to?
Mirror Lake is always good, but I'm a personal fan of whatever's at the Union. I like Woody's, I like Sloopy's. It kind of just depends on how long I'm willing to wait for my food.
Yeah, and for me, as someone who lives at Swiss Steep, Union's the place to go. Sometimes you can have the issue with, they say it's going to be ready in 10 minutes and you end up waiting 30 or 40. But Jake, where are your go-tos on campus as well?
I love chickpeas a lot, so the Hot Bar Indian at the Union's really good, as well as Greek Week at KCOM.
I've never heard of the Greek Week before. I'll definitely have to try that out. And what about off-campus eats, high street, somewhere you like to venture out in Columbus?
Well, I stick with the classic Chipotle on Sundays usually.
Sunday's always where you go to Chipotle?
Yeah, my suite mates and I, always Chipotle.
So I guess Chipotle gets a great valued customer. And what about you, Rachel? Anywhere off campus you like to usually go to?
I always really like going to Joy's Village. I usually like to get takeout there and just taking it back to my dorm room and just having some noodles. They, I think, have really good Chinese food, so.
And where is that near campus? On High Street, or?
Yeah, so it's on High Street. It's near Panda Express. Like, you kind of have to go like down into like a basement bunker type thing. It's kind of sketchy, but you know, with some of those off-campus eats, you gotta get a little sketchy in order to get the good stuff.
Absolutely, you gotta try it out at some point. And Evan, anywhere off campus that usually is your go-to?
Yeah, so actually speaking of the sketchy basement area, there's a milk tea place down there as well that is honestly really good. Again, similarly, kind of sketchy, but really good milk tea. I've been there quite often this year just because it's also a good study place.
And that is a great segue into our next topic we're going to talk about here on Campus View Special Edition. And study spots, everyone likes a great study spot, whether it's on campus, off campus, a coffee spot, or somewhere to hang out outside. Jake, where's your go-to study spot?
When it's nice out, I like to study outside. So my favorite spots are either the Res Courtyard or the Silver Tables, kind of near Oxley's.
And is that somewhere where you think you could pop up a hammock or sit on the grass, something like that?
There aren't very good hammocking spots like right there, but the Oval's always pretty safe bet. They have some good spots.
And Evan, are you a big hammock guy, or?
Unfortunately, no. I've been trying to get into it. I've been borrowing friends' hammocks and stuff. It's really just been way too busy for me to get my own hammock.
Because once you start that setup process,
Yeah.
and then you got to wrap it up at the end of the day, and where would you like to go on campus or off campus to try and grind out an essay or something like that?
Yeah, so right by Mirror Lake, there's this one section I see like 17 hammocks almost every day. It's warm out, and like I want to set up there, but then I'm like, oh great, I got to go there early, get the spot, and it's almost more effort than it's worth, but it's such good real estate that I feel like it'd be worth it.
It's like going to a very popular resort on spring break,
Yeah.
trying to get a spot on the beach. And what about you, Evan? And then I'll move to you, Rachel, about a library, somewhere you guys like to specifically go to.
Yeah, I really like just the higher floors of Thompson. The 11th floor, I believe it is, the super quiet one. A bit too quiet for my taste, but like 10, 9, 8, perfect. No one's really up there as well because most people either go all the way to 11 or 1, 2, and 3 and whatever. But yeah, high levels of Thompson Library for me.
And Rachel, are you a top floor type of person too, or?
I am not. Frankly, if I go up there, I feel like I'm making too much noise and I'm disturbing everybody around me, so I can't do it. I like the 4th floor of both Thompson and 18th Avenue because they have like these little cubicle things.
Yeah.
So I just get to like ignore everybody around me and just focus on, my computer, my iPad, whatever it is.
And another thing that is really going on the off-campus area has been safety and crime recently. I don't know if you guys, I'll start with you, Jake, on your thoughts on how much better the safety is getting since the beginning of the year and how much Ohio State is trying to make that a little bit better.
I feel like it's not getting much better. I feel like they're just like telling us less about it. I don't know. I think they could be doing better.
And what about you?
I think similar boat, but I do have to admit the generator lights off campus have been really helpful, especially since I live pretty far off campus and usually walking down like 13th or 12th when it was pitch black before those lights. It was a little rough, so to say, but the lights now are actually really useful.
And have any of you guys used the recent new partnership that Ohio State has with Lyft to try and get you back home safely from campus a little bit?
Yeah, I personally have a lot. It's such a good money saver, and honestly, yeah, taking a Lyft instead of walking 20, 30 minutes, I'd say it's worth it.
And what about you, Rachel?
Yeah, I've used it a couple times when coming back from like different friends' houses in the evenings. Also, I worked at the dairy farm last year, and I would have to wake up early enough for that I would actually be able to use the Lyft to get over to the dairy farm.
Very interesting. And everything that's going on campus, we've talked about safety a little bit, but how about those on-campus alerts? There was a recent story where there was something that happened off campus, but there was no Buckeye alert compared to some other times. Evan, what are your thoughts on that situation?
Honestly, I haven't heard much about the situation, so I think you're kind of right in that. I do feel like they should, at the very least, keep us in the loop with the campus updates they do via email and stuff. I think if it's a certain range off campus, it's more of that update versus a Buckeye alert. But I think it really is just up to interpretation and how, I can't think of the right word, how important the crime is.
And Jake, I will leave it with you of, give me one tip that you think all students should know about trying to get around a little bit more on campus.
Getting around a bit more, like getting involved or?
Whatever you want to choose.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not very good at like getting involved in different clubs and stuff, but I feel like that's a great way to meet people now that a lot of them are in person again. Since I was a freshman last year, like they were all kind of on Zoom, and it was hard to like bring myself to go to a bunch of Zooms, but.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for coming on, and thank you so much for watching here on Campus View. My name's Zachary Rodier on a special edition. Thank you so much, and good night.